folks. One thing I wanted to talk about is something that my family makes fun of me for, but here goes. I think it's very important that you kind of keep records and keep information on your garden and on your seeds. A lot of stuff we kind of depend on the internet right now, and if the internet's not there, all you're going to have is what you have. You're not going to be able to get resources elsewhere. So that's why I'm a big advocate for going to used book sales, finding books on gardening, homestead skills, other things you might need. Not necessarily every prepper book that's out there. There's some really good ones, and I have them and I read them. But more detailed information. Now, specific to what I'm doing, I'm telling you, they're making fun of me for this, but I've got my book on my little farm here, and what I have, I'll just kind of go through the type of information that I'm keeping here, just in case it's helpful to anybody, or just to verify the fact that I'm a whack job. I've got the layout of my garden, the way it is, and also the layout, the way it's going to be once it's done. I've got the layout that the people who we bought the house from gave me, with what was here originally, which has come in very handy, by the way. Then the next section, I've got the detailed information from the manufacturer on all of my seeds, all of my heirloom seeds. I printed this information up so that I have it on all of the heirloom seeds that I'm doing here. You may not be able to get this information, after the grid goes down. So I wanted to have the seed-specific information on everything. Then in the next section of the book, after you get past all of the seeds, and I did probably go a little bit overboard with the number of different seeds I had, but got requests. The next thing, and this is part that I think is important, and I'm tweaking it as I go along, but is the planting schedule. When I should start the indoor plants from seed, when plants should be put in the ground. And I got this from various sources, and I put the schedule together, and it's a living document because I'm tweaking it. For example, I'm going to start my eggplants early because they took longer than I thought, and I would have liked to have had them be farther along at the point that I put them in the ground. So I'm tweaking this schedule as I go, but it basically tells me when I can put in my first crop, when I can put in my second crop for the plants that you can do more than one, and when approximately I'd be able to harvest. So it gives me an idea of the schedule. And probably as I get more experience in doing a pretty big garden, maybe I'll know some of this stuff and I won't need it, but right now I do. Right now I need to have this information. I've also got some pretty detailed information on my zone, the growing times that I got from various sources. So I have a couple different sources, and pretty much everything matches up, but I just wanted to have that available as I go through. And then finally, I've got seed-specific information on how you're supposed to get the seeds. So these are heirloom plants, so I'll let some of them go and then harvest the seeds, if you will, so that I have seeds for next year. So I've got detailed information on how to do that for each of the specific plants that I have. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, that's a little bit overboard, kind of having a book like this. But what happens if something happens to me and my family, who's presently making fun of me for doing this, for being like hyper-organized in a garden? What happens if, the apocalypse happens and I'm out of town and I can't get home and they're on their own and they need this information? So, part of why I'm putting this book together isn't just for me, but it's also just in case my family, who of course is not out here with me at 5:30 in the morning doing the garden right now, but they would be able to do this. So I want to have enough information that even if I'm not here, they'd be able to figure it out and be able to plant food on their own. So there you have it. You can decide, hyper-organized wacko or just part of my general preparedness plan and a good resource for my family should I not be able to be here with them during the apocalypse. Thank you very much for watching.